All right, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday. It's Bryan here, and we're going to do some Cities Skylines 2 flying solo today. And we'll be starting a new city, Cities Skylines 2. We started Wednesday a new city, but with learning the new systems was a little difficult, a little challenging. Wasn't quite understanding it. We're going to still go ahead and do this, try to do it our way. But there is a little bit of brute force mentality you got to have with the new patch to build your city. It's not ideal, and I'm going to talk about my criticisms of it, but also some of the things I like as we go through. But we are going to start a fresh city, and I am going to run with mods. And I've been looking at some different mods that I have not tried and want to give a go at, just to add that ability to customize the look of the city as well. So lots of things that I have here. I'm going to run through these real quick. I got 19 mods loaded. One is the Magnolia County, so we just won't count that one. But I have the extra libraries for icons and all that. So Unified Icon in the library, Asset Icon library, and Extra Lib. I wish somebody would just unite these, that we don't have to have 3 different libraries, but is what it is. Find it, Better Bulldozer, Extra Assets Importer. Needs to be in there in order to get some things that you'll see later. Anarchy, I do have. I've honestly never really used it, but it just lets you just put things places. Line Tool, Extended Road Upgrades, Magnolia County Skype, obviously. Traffic, which has been updated. All these, I think, have been updated. So, extra landscaping tools. Do a 529 tiles. We got to set the parameters for that. AI surfaces pack. Extra detailing tools. Extra networks and areas. Plop the growables. And tree controller. So, we're going to see how all of these function within this. A lot of these I've seen a lot of the content creators using, and they've been using them without complaint. So good there. I am noticing, if you might notice, Move It is not here, and Move It apparently is still buggy and will crash the game. And I do have some crash issues, and every time I've talked about it, people have said, well, do you have Move It installed? So even though Move It's been updated, it's still just not, it's not a healthy add-on from what I'm understanding. That seems to be the general consensus, is if you're having crashing issues and you have Move It installed, just get rid of it. So I did get rid of it. We're going to build a fresh new city here. So as we go into a new game, and we can pick either from Magnolia County, which is our custom map, or we can just pick one of the existing ones. I do not have any of the extra maps, downloaded maps installed at this point. That's something I'm going to do down the road once I get a little more comfortable with this. But this is really just going to be, this map is going to be a viewing for you to view and me to attempt to navigate this new system. That kind of, we were a little spoiled with Cities Skylines 2 when it first came out, because there was really no money challenge. Even though it looked like you were losing money, you were gaining money, and there was no financial challenge to it. Now they've swung it completely other way, and it's incredibly challenging, and you really have to approach things a certain way. The demand meters are actually working. My initial reaction to them is like, they're not working. They're not doing what they're supposed to do, but in hindsight, after looking at it, they kind of are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So I'm actually feeling a little different about them now. And we have, what was I going to say? What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, well, it's gone. But, so we're going to pick a new map. Try to pick something I haven't built on yet, but at the same time, I also kind of want to have something that's not going to kill me. So I've done, what have I done? Sweeping Plains on stream. That was my Sunday stream map, I think. I believe it was. We're going to say it was. It was either that or Twin Mountain. No, it wasn't Twin Mountain. And then there's, I've done River Delta, but I don't think I've done this one on stream. I do like that map, and that one is what Magnolia County is. Oh, and I do need to, before we go crazy here, we do need to set the parameters for 529. We want to provide the extra tiles at the final milestone. And the tile upkeep multiplier, this is basically when you buy a new tile, there's an upkeep to it. Now, this I feel is an added hard mode challenge, is adding this extra cost. I actually think this is unnecessary. I don't understand why this was put in here. I would rather see them add district upkeep. So if you create a district in an area, that there adds an extra upkeep to that. But I don't actually like this. I haven't really found it to be a benefit. It's more of a hindrance from natural growth. So I'm going to just knock that out. We're not going to keep the tile upkeep. However, I still want to have where I unlock my tiles as I go, instead of unlocking them all at once. I could set it where I just unlock all. I mean, I guess I could. It really doesn't matter. Since I'm not doing this, I'm playing with mods, so we're not going to have that. But this just gives me that little bit of flexibility where I still have to kind of plan my city and build a little more intelligibly. So, but I don't know, because you have in the regular gameplay, when we go in, we can go ahead and select that as well. But for the most part, I feel like this will do it. Tile upkeep multiplier, we'll leave it down, and we'll provide extra tiles at the final milestone. So we'll just unlock as we go. I think that's fair. We still have that attitude. So people that play a vanilla game, you're going to be used to unlocking tiles as you go. So you'll have that. But I'm turning off the cost. Again, I like the challenge, but at the same time, I also just want to build my city, and I don't want to be hindered by that. I mean, a lot of us, we're building cities to enjoy it sometimes, and sometimes if the game's not fun, and that's what I was finding last week while trying to do things under the constraints of the new rules. It's like, I'm not having fun, and the game's supposed to be fun. I don't mind it being challenging. Challenging can be fun. It's when it's like, it's going against what I want to do. Now, I could also go with the total unlimited money thing, which I'm seeing some of the streamers doing. I'm not going that route. I think I can still balance a budget. And I still think it'll take some time. But you just got to play the game a little differently. The taxes definitely work differently. So we're going to talk about all that as we get in. So I don't think I've done Twin Mountain. We know Sunshine Peninsula. I don't want to do that one again. Coral Riches, we will tackle that map again. That one's kind of retired for now. I do want something where I'm going to get at least some space to work with, too. Mountain Village is a real tight area to start. Sweeping Plains. This Sweeping Plains is where our old Sunday map was, so I feel like I should just go get some maps. But for today, we're just testing out the system. When we start a new city, maybe we'll look up some of the popular maps that are out there. If you have any that you recommend me taking a look at, go ahead and stick them in chat. Like I said, Magnolia County is one that I do want to get back to. But let's go with, I think I don't want to do San Francisco. I think we'll do Twin Mountain, although I've never done Barrier Island. What does Barrier Island look like? You start on the island, and then you work your way onto the mainland. That feels like very restrictive, too. Let's do Twin Mountain. I've never done that one. That one will give us some space to work with, and we'll do that. So, European, Northern Hemisphere, it can get cold enough to snow, so we will have some winters. Buildable area, only 39%. Does have all the access. Does not have train connections, so we'll have to create those. But that's outstanding. We could still do that. Plenty of resources to be found. So Twin Mountain. Surprising there's no rail connection there. I think, what was the other one that I liked? Sweeping Plains. And that definitely has rail. So we're going to have to create a rail connection at some point once we expand the map. So, but we could still create train within the city, which would be good. And we can move our goods around the city. And that should be okay. So this is where you could unlock all, unlock multiple, unlock unlimited money. So if you just want to sandbox it, go for it. And this is unlock map tiles. So this is like the 529, and this does unlock all 529. It unlocks all the map tiles. And it disables the upkeep costs. So we've done that through the mod instead. So we're good there. And let's just give this, and I mean, I'm kind of brute forcing it, but let's give this city a name. Well, we're just going to call it based on the map for now. So Twin Mountains. We'll call it based on the map. Just call it Twin Mountain. Yeah, Twin Mountain. Twin Mountain would be funny. It's like the Lone Rangers. All right, achievements are disabled. Honestly, that ship has sailed for me worrying about the achievements. I went and looked at the achievements I don't have, and I'm like, I really don't care enough. I want to build a city and enjoy building it. Down the road, once we get DLC and the systems get tweaked a little bit more and the game seems more homogeneous and functional, I could see doing a no mod based city again. Especially when they start adding other tools. I think we're going to start seeing certain mods get added as tools to the game as the game goes on, which happened in the previous game. All right, let's get it started. So one of the things that we've learned this past week is when building your city is that as much as we talk about, oh, it looks like we have two ways in. We have a road this way and our highway road. This feels a little like River Delta, the way it comes in. And it's interesting, we don't start right on the coast, so we'll be able to build our way to this way. Where's our power? There's our power. So we have road there, power here, here. Now, from a few things to note that I've learned this week is you have to be really aggressive in your housing zoning. You need lots of people fast. And you need lots of industry. Two things you got to get right off the bat. Really important. Now, if we look at our wind direction, this will kind of dictate to where our industry is going to go. Interestingly, everything's blowing this way, which is going to make it real interesting for expansion to the west, especially when we got to go with a huge heavy industry. Now, that doesn't mean we can repurpose industry down the road. But to get the city started, and it makes, I'll be honest, it makes a lot of sense. The more and more I think about it, I feel like it makes sense that you're getting a new city started. You need jobs, you need people. Now, it doesn't look like the natural city. So one of my complaints that I've had is that you get, in Cities Skylines 1 and pre-Economy 2.0 patch Cities Skylines 2, you have this progression. You were at a level, you had things that you can do, you put them down, and then you just let the city kind of work. And then you leveled, and then you get new things to do. You would get enough money, a little bag of money to get those things planted. Such as, okay, we're going to start, now we need some medical services for our people. Okay, now we've leveled again. Now we need to add schooling for our citizens. Okay, we've leveled again. Now we got to add more emergency services for our citizens. And you have this natural progression where you don't have to do it all at once. You just gradually build your city up. The game right now doesn't allow for that because you can go broke fast. And so it really goes against this natural progression we've been used to. I don't believe that's intended. I think this is a slight error in the new plan. And I think that'll get tweaked, either with those services costing less or giving you more money. Because they used to give us big bags of money when we leveled each time. And that's not happening anymore. First level, we're going to get 100,000. I don't remember what these were, but this was a lot bigger. It's only 4 million at Megalopolis. I think it was like 16 million or something. By then, you don't even need money. You have so much money, you don't know what to do with it. So I think this is a lot less in what they're giving you. However, you are getting access to more things sooner, which is good. But yeah, I think that is an issue, that you don't get as much money. You can't level up naturally as naturally as you'd like. All right, so things you want to do to get started is you really need to be very conscious of your spending because you're going to be losing a lot of money right away, and you need to have lots of people. So we're going to go ahead. We have our coming in off the highway here. So we have a nice quick highway connection, and we have this connection here. Now this is just appears to be a regular road. Let's look. We need to find this road's name. This is a highway. So this is a highway road. So we have 2 highway connections coming in. So this is a 1-lane each way highway. And this could make it interesting. We could essentially, where does this go? That just goes out to that area, this town. And this one shoots off the map over here and shoots off the map over here. So this is a real interesting map. Gives us 3 ways into the city via highways. And I could definitely see this looping around, maybe even being like either a big dig in Boston underground highway that connects to this one, or being a above ground that goes through with some exits off, and this being kind of a major downtown area right here. I mean, this, I'm from Western Massachusetts originally, and Springfield's the big city there. And though this is a ocean front, you get like this riverfront where the highway kind of cuts through like this, and you get a little bit of land over here along the river where some development is, and the rest of the big cities right in here. And then you get a major, this is I-91, and then 391 cuts through like this and goes into the city, and then through it and comes out the other side. So maybe I'll take that inspiration for how that city is in this as we move forward eventually. So we want to get our grid in here. We could look at our terrain. What is this? So I do have all these extra mods that I've actually not used, so I will be learning a little bit as we go as well. I don't know Anarchy much, so let's just click here. So disables urge. So when it's clicked, I guess when it's clicked it's on, and when it's not, it's not. I mean, Anarchy just basically takes away the error messages and says like, oh, you're not allowed to place that there. It just lets you place it, and it's fine. However, I think if you turn Anarchy completely off or disable Anarchy, I think it will, I don't know if it breaks your map or not. If you've all played with Anarchy, let me know. All right, so we want to look at our terrain. So we are not very flat here. In fact, this is pretty sloped. So that's going to give us some interesting options here. We're going way up, then we got a little leveled area here. So I can definitely see we're going to have to play with our terrain a bit. This is going to go against my comfort zone here. I do see this like this. I'm feeling like I want to flatten this because I think we're going to come up and this will be a flattened area where our city will start. So I am going to go ahead and just smooth this out so that we have our starting area here. And it's going to give us plenty of place to work with to get our initial grid going. And let's see. I'm going to take this in. Find the lanes here. Okay, there we go. We're just going to take this in all the way. And we'll smooth out up here a bit. So let's go like that. And we're just smoothing this whole area out. We're being very deliberate here. I'm going to respect a lot of topography. I'm not flattening the whole map, but I want to give myself a nice area to start because I am going to have to work with some grid mentality to get the city formed. And again, that was not an unusual thing. Westward migration and all that back in the day. I mean, when developments would be made and cities would be made along a lake or along a water source, they would start with a grid idea. Keep everything fairly central. All right, so that works like so. All right. And that's going to give us lots of space to get going. And I'm not going to flatten too much. I think once we buy some tiles up here, I can see getting up here and like right where that dark line is, flattening in here a bit to make another development. And then we can maybe build some things along the hills here, and we'll play with that. Our industry, I think, because all of our wind's blowing this way. I think our industry could go... I don't want to put it over here. It's not big enough. We need a big space for our industry. I am a little concerned with the size of this map. And this could be one of those, maybe this would have been better to just unlock all tiles and go for it, since I'm not playing with the tile upkeep. But let's work within the restrictions. So I might prefer this whole thing to be smoothed here. But then that's going to give me a real huge jump. This is a little more gradual. Can't smooth that too much more. So, all right, well, we're just going to have to make this work. So our city's going to come in here, and I want to leave a little area right here. So let's get our main road, and we'll just keep this being... a 2-lane road that's going to come in. Let's keep these on. I think I'm going to eventually want to curve this around with this terrain. Oh, there is something going on here I'm noticing. And this is... what is that in? Snap to surface of object. Okay, that's something new. I have not had this mod before. But it will force my roads to snap to like tops of trees, which will break things. So you definitely want to turn that off. And then I think I'm just going to shoot straight out like so. I want to bring this more this way. I think I do. I'm going to have this curled down and in. So let's... that a little steep, but we'll be able to smooth that back. I almost feel like this should go straight that way. But I don't want to take this in too much because this water is going to come on up. So I think we're good there. We don't want to really mess with the height along the river too much. I've flooded cities doing that. So let's have this naturally curve down like so. And then that could join in with our road kind of going this way. All right, and then we're going to give these curves just to pull them together. That should give us the basis for our thing. And then I'll have 2 ways to get into the town. Do I want to access both of those highways right off the bat? I don't know. This is really... I mean, it's definitely sloping down, but it's not necessarily steep. So I think we'll definitely be able to work with this area here. And I think that might look nice having our industry kind of along the waterfront here. So let's take this. I'm going to... Oops, wrong button.
Sorry about that. It's
smooth this back.
I'm sure they'll turn up. They're for the brown sedan parked outside the radio station. Oh, wait. I probably shouldn't have said that. If anyone finds them, please don't steal my car. I mean, the old hornbuckle mobile, please.
And now we're going to take just a regular 2-lane road here.
Never mind then. Thank you for listening to...
Turn off that. Turn this on. And let's get this to curve around. And I do want it to come straight in somewhere, so we'll just go here. A little thing so our grid doesn't get all wonky. do complex curve. Something like so. It's a little screwy, but it's actually very screwy. Maybe I just want this to come more straight into that. So let's rethink that plan. It's going to cost us a little money to do that. Let's get this, and we're going to grab that height and just go straight down to there. That's probably going to service us a little better. And we should be able to take a turn straight into it. There we go. That's a little less screwy. So let's grab this height and just remove that. And then we'll just smooth this down. Okay, so we have access into our city from both of these highways. This one turns into just a regular road. And there's that. And maybe eventually we go ahead and create this highway that comes up here and joins in here and cuts straight through with little exits along the way. All right. So we're good there. Now we want to get to where our industry is going to be. Our residential is going to be all up here. So I think our industry down along the river will be good. So we're going to need a little bit of flattened space just to get that in there. So we're going to take our brush down quite a bit. So we're going to come down, let's see, like right here. So I'm just flattening the area that's going to be our road. And I'm trying to stay with the topography here. I don't want it to have it be all wonky. But then that might give me an opportunity to maybe have another road that comes down to a lower industry area there. And this is good. So this gives us, we can increase our brush size now. Decent space here to work with. That will be below our residential. Hopefully meet those needs. So let's get a road that comes down there. I'm going to draw the road in first. I'm going to just freeform this whole road. Take it right to the end. And we'll put a basic roundabout, which doesn't cost us any extra, just right there, so trucks can just turn around. And then maybe we, off that roundabout, maybe we can have another one loop down here. So let's get another one. Let's say right down here. I do like that the landscaping tools don't cost you anything. Does make kind of getting your city set up the way you want it a little easier at the beginning. And then I want to take this height and we're going to go from here and kind of curve in. So that'll allow me to take a road off this roundabout and come down like so. It's too much. I gotta watch my money. My money's okay. I'm not spending too much here. I'm kind of drawing this road along the little ledge I've created. And maybe we can connect it right back up here. So let's get this, grab that height, and maybe come down like so. There we go, like that. That's giving us some initial spot for our area, and we could then maybe build even another level in between here. So we'll see how the heights work. We do have a little bit of a hill, but it's really not that steep, so I think we'll be okay there. But now we've got our area leveled out, so now we'll be able to place, and I'm not going to worry about smoothing too much right now. Now we could place our grid for our residential, and I do want to bring this back just a little bit more. So now with my plan of having my industry kind of be below my residential, I can just kind of pull that back a bit. And that just gives me a little more space to work with. And we do need to connect this up with this up here. So let's get that figured out. Curve right around like so. I'm going to delete that. I want to turn off snap to exits. No, which one is it? Snap to guidelines. I want to get this. Which one? I do want it to snap to something. I just don't remember which one it was. I do want 90 degree. I just want it to kind of snap in the middle here. I don't think snapping... Yeah, that'll be okay. All right, and then we can take our curve tool and probably curve it right in. And it's right down that slope. Perfect. Okay, so we have access to get down to our industry, and they could shoot right out the highway, and then they can also loop around to here. I could give them a route into here. My only worry is that by doing that right here, it's going to add unnecessary traffic because pathfinding is still just not intelligible right now. People will take the weirdest routes to get around your city, to get into your city. And there's no real rhyme or reason to it. So. All right, so I have these straight areas here, and this is where I'm going to build my grid off of, these flat areas. So I'm going to build one here. I'm going to build one here. We're going to build one here. And this is where our residential areas are going to be. So we are going to use the grid tool. Wrong button. We are going to use the grid tool. We are going to turn off snap to guidelines because that will mess up your grid tool. One more break. There we go. It's a little further than I wanted it to be. You know, let's just do simple like so. We'll do another one. We are in a hill there. Apparently I did not flatten that out as much as I would have liked. That didn't flatten at all, actually. Weird. So we're going to have to redraw this segment. Don't know what happened there. That is broken. I don't want that to be broken like that. It's going to be a problem. So we're going to have to do that again, which sucks, but because it's costing me money to do that. All right, I just didn't want that to be broken. Now that gives us a little better space to do our grid here. Okay, and then we got plenty of space to do one here. And then I'll have some connecting space in here. So the reason I'm doing it this way, not just trying to do one big massive one, I am losing a little space in doing it, but I'm going to be able to connect these roads up and make it a little more functional. And it's making it look like less one giant grid, and it's giving me just a little bit of a little unique factor that I've been looking for, because I don't like how the grids get too gritty. So now I can just connect them up. So it's a little unusual, but it works for what we're going to do here. We do need this on. Unbelievable. When you, again, still in this game, when you click something, you want something to happen, and it chooses to ignore your request. And look, that's not even lined up. God, unreal. And like I said, I can just kind of give these little connections. It gives me something interesting in between. And now these are all connected like so. And gives me interesting areas that I can work with. And even here, we can almost just do a straight shot right into that intersection. Yeah, that makes you a little unique one there. Maybe we can plop a roundabout right in there, makes it a little unique. And then this one can maybe almost do the same thing here.
You're listening to Second Moon Radio, the station of levitated tastes. Don't touch that dial.
So not hating this, not hating how this is coming out. And this one I can see turning nicely into that one. I'm going to make this straight out a little bit. Make this straight out a little bit, and then give this a turn. Trying to preserve some of the grid best we can. All right, so now we are all connected through. We should probably connect over to this way here. This one again looks like it almost straight shot right in. I don't think that's bad. And I think maybe we could just do this right here too and make a unique intersection there where those areas can come together. And then let's go ahead and push this out just a little bit. So we can make a nice little connection here. Now this one feels like I can, what I'm thinking here is I can break this and get two smaller ones, make these grids a little smaller. So, and that'll allow me better opportunity to make a connection in there. So instead of having those two big loops, that looks pretty good. And then I think maybe we can get one more here. Let's take this one up. So those of you that are playing again, maybe came back to the game with this update, what are your thoughts? I'm honestly thinking that people probably came back to this game with this update and don't like it and are annoyed again. That would be my guess, is people are not happy with the state of the game right now. And I am a bit disappointed. That's broken right there. That's okay. We're going to try to get that in. I mean, I took it with the point of view that somebody tested this and says, love it. This is exactly what we're looking for. Who that person is, I don't know. Because there are certainly, like I said, the state of the game is not perfect. All right, looking good. So now we want to have ways to get in. Now, my big concern is, one of the things I've learned is you want to have multiple ways in, and you don't want to just have one and then one way over here and one way over here. You got to have multiple. Otherwise, if you give them too few options, they're only going to take the closest one. So I think we do want to have this one because this one's going to kind of shoot to the outside. So I think this one's a good one right here. I draw that right in there. And then I think another one right here might work well. And then this one right here will work well. And this is our collector. It's collecting this neighborhood. This one right there might work well. We'll get one right here. I think we would just go all the way here. We can get that into that intersection there. And if we feel we need more, we can. But that does give plenty of options to get into this area. So we have a nice gridded out area. This is where all of our residential is going to be. We have our area down here. We're going to plop lots of industry. So now we need to get our resources in play. Still lots of money. Not a problem. So water. The cheapest monthly upkeep is your water pumping station, which I feel is the way to go. You want a cheap upkeep, and the water tower is actually really expensive. But that's because you could put it anywhere. You don't need ground source water. So if you're building a community somewhere and you don't have connection to your city and you need to add water, the tower's perfect. Groundwater pumping station's good, costs a bit more. I'm going for the cheap. We're going to keep it cheap. So just a regular water pumping station will work. So we need access to water. I think getting it over here will work here. So let's we'll get like a little road that kind of curves off here. And I'm thinking just your alleyway road will do. So let's put our groundwater pumping station in, and then we'll draw in our alley. Or our regular water pumping station. So get there. And we see our water flows going that way, so we know we're going to want to have our sewage probably down here, and that'll just pump out to sea, because we're not going to have a wastewater treatment plant right away. So this will work here. It's giving us plenty of water, and now we just need to connect it via a road. I don't think we need anything fancy here. So we're literally just taking a simple little road that comes down there. I'm going to get rid of... We are going to use some of our road tools, which we don't have yet, so I can't get rid of lights and intersections. We'll have to unlock that down the road. So we're not going to have that now. So we are going to have traffic lights and all that, because that's... And that's not going to be my first thing. In fact, I'm going to level, which is nice, before I start simming the game. So that is really ugly, so we're going to fix this. All right, less ugly. That's much better. Okay. So water pumping station in, and now we want our sewage, and we're just going to get it down here, as far down here as possible, so we're not polluting too much of this river. And we're just going to stick it like right at the ends, and we're just going to have our sewage outlet, just kind of pump it right out there. We're going to put it as close to the edge as we can. Okay, we will need to run a sewage line. Not I get too close so I can't. There it goes. And we just run it up to here. All right. We're good there. So sewage is pumping out. Now power. I've always been like, hey, import your power. I'm finding that is not the preferred method. We want to handle our own power. Now, hopefully, though, we have access to coal nearby, which we do. Thank goodness. So we have access to coal up here, which is fantastic. So we can get a coal industry going, a coal plant, and we can get our own coal. So once we get to level, so we're going to get a road up here or somewhere off of here to get up here to get mining this area as quick as we can. And when we level and we won't have our tile upkeep costs, we're going to probably expand into this to make sure, or maybe even expand south and get into this coal. But we do want coal. So our power plant, I think, can go right here. It is going to come with a little bit of pollution, so we're going to maybe smooth back just a bit. Wrong button. Don't want to go too far. And this coal plant's not huge, so I think we're okay. So we don't want to go too far because we don't want this water to come up into this. I'm just tapping in here. Okay, and I feel like we can do the same thing here. And honestly, I'm going to run a road off this. So let's get, how big is this plant? It's not too big, and we can kind of put it right over here. We do have groundwater there, but we're not worried. We're not going to be pulling from groundwater. So I think that's pretty good. And we do have these tools where we could add ore. So if we want to add coal, we can do that. Good morning. Nothing better than a fresh... Yes, yes, absolutely, Rico. Fresh start here with the new system. Hopefully does us well. So I think... Where's our road? We're going to put it right here. Right up against that. But the reason we want to have this is we are going to connect to our outside power. So any power we don't need initially, we're going to export. And we've leveled already, and we haven't even started up the game yet and zoned. Oops, I did turn it the wrong way, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm actually good with that. So we're going to get a road shooting right down the... A little wonky here. How did I do this? I got to turn off the terrain. There we go. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm going to run one up like so. Like so. Like so. Is that too bumpy and bumpy? No, it's fine. Have you been playing, those of you in chat, since Economy 2.0? How are you finding it? I was not in love at first, I'll admit. Okay, and I think my power's right over here, so I can easily just grab a line and get connected to that. Can I literally go right over that water pumping? That's outstanding. Can I get right over it? Look at that. All right, and now we're connected. So when our power is running, any power that it has will be exporting that cost. And since we've leveled, we are able to do coal already. So we haven't even started the game, and we can already do that. That is fantastic. So let's have... I need to turn this back on. We got some area over here too. We can get some residential, but let's have a road connection up here. We want to get up to here for our coal. Although we also did say that we had coal down here, and we can get a tile. It's going to cost us 20 grand, but no upkeep. We're not paying for the upkeep. Still old Cities Skylines. Yeah, you know what? And I've gone back a couple times and played it and really love it. It's a different game. And this one's definitely got a different way of thinking. But I like them both. And I kind of like them both equally is where I'm at. All right. I'm not going to buy another tile right now. I want to save my money. I have access to coal in here, and that should be enough coal to get us going. So let's just get a road up there. I'm not going to buy a tile. We're going to get our regular road, and we're just going to get up to here. So we're going to need to smooth that a bit. So there's our height. Yeah, you can see it's definitely janky in there, so that's okay. Let's get a road. Go straight. Nope, we want a straight road. And then we'll do some kind of curvy road to get us up there. And then we can use our flattening tool here just to kind of smooth back. We are going to buy tiles into this area eventually. So I'm not overly concerned. Now this will cause some pollution. That is my only worry, but I think it's going to blow straight that way. And as long as we don't do too much. Oh, actually it's going out that way. Perfect. So it's not even going to hit this. Okay, so now we have coal. Perfect. Okay, so we can get something right here. And we're just going to kind of grab all of it. And we'll work on smoothing out the terrain eventually. Once we get this plopped. Okay. And we'll just smooth this down so it doesn't look so weird. I did do coal, right? I didn't even pay attention. Did I do coal? I did. Okay. It's the last thing clicked. So that'll farm up some coal for us. And we're going to go ahead and just tweak that. Get it all a little closer there. So that'll get coal so that it can ship down to here, and then we'll get our own coal. And now this will be making plenty of money, and we'll have excess coal too, and it'll ship it out anything we don't need. So they're not going to be buying it, which is great, because we'll be able to make our own. All right, let's get some zoning. We still haven't done anything. In medical, I'm going to wait. Death care. So death care is one of the things I do want to get right away, and I don't want the cemetery, because I think I learned the crematorium is cheaper. I've been seeing people go with crematorium first. It just saves you some real estate. Yeah, the crematorium has a cheaper upkeep. It's more expensive to place, but it's a cheaper upkeep, better capacity, gets things moving a little quicker. So when we're ready, where we need death care, we'll do that. In garbage, I think we were going to wait. Even though they won't come from outside the city, we're going to wait till people are complaining. Then we'll figure out where to stick our garbage. And we may just stick it like right down here next to the sewage. All right. I think we're ready to start zoning some people in. We're going to wait on medical as well until people are like, we need healthcare. That road going up nice. And I'm going to get rid of trees. Bushes and everything. So we don't want anything in here where we're going to be zoning. We'll place that all manually later. And we're going to be, like I said, very aggressive in our zoning. We don't even have any demand because we haven't turned on the game yet. That looks good. And I'm okay with like trees being down in here. Now what's cool here is I have the tree controller tool, so I can actually set the age of the trees. So I don't have to deal with saplings. And I can just go ahead and set them in there. As much as I always said in the past, I don't mind that. I started to mind it. So, all right. Now, we're going to be deliberate in our zoning size. Now, along this area here and in these blocks here is going to be where we're going to put our commercial. So we're not going to have commercial on the main drag. And we're going to have back here, this could be our area for our schools. And some of our city services, I think we'll put maybe right in here. This could be our city service area, schools, and shops along the main drag. Maybe just inside the main drag, and we'll have housing all throughout here. So let's go and plant some housing. We're going to be deliberate in our planning. We're not going to go too crazy. So what do we got? 3, 3, 3, 4. So that's 13. So that's okay. We're going to leave this strip along this side open. And then that'll give me 3, 3, 3, and 3. Perfect. So we're going to have houses. We'll do 3x3s there. Whoops. 3 there. And maybe we'll do 4x3s going up here. And then we could do same thing. 3x3s. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll do 4x3s with 3x3s there. And just giving us some deliberate zoning attempts here. And we want the houses facing the right way. Now, I do have another add-on called Plop the Growables, which I have never used. If you've used it and you're in chat, I've seen people use it in streams, and it looks like if you just plop like a business, it'll stay there and it'll function, but you don't need to zone that area. I don't understand how that add-on works. It's very new that I've added it, so we're going to take a look at it at some point. So I'm going to get these like this. So being very deliberate in our placement here. And that'll give us some residential moving in. And then here we got 3, 3, and then 2. So how about we do 4? 3, 4. Yeah, we'll still do 3. We'll leave an extra. We'll leave a space between them. Very good. We need some here. And along here, I'm feeling like this could be my medium density. Like medium density and shops. Like right along here. So medium density facing this way. All right. Let's fill in another area. So we have that like that. So let's get this one here. We haven't spent too much. Because we did buy the coal factory, we've spent something. That got us going, but... Alright, so we got 4, 3, 6, 9, 12. So same thing. We're going to do 3 wides here. So I like having that space between them. That's a new thing I'm looking at. Not putting them back to back on each other. We could also set our taxes, which is great now too. Could be having level, we could set our taxes. So from what I understand, you want your residential tax to be fairly low to get started, and your commercial industry kind of stay the same until it starts developing, and then you can raise it. I'm getting a save game there. Where did I go? Oh. Where's everything? All right. So we'll do this block here, and then we'll start looking at how things look. Okay, so here 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so we're going to leave this strip free. 4. 4 there. So with all these add-ons, we're going to be learning kind of how to play with them as we go. I'm going to leave that area free there.
You're listening to Second Moon.
Okay. There we go. And that'll give us space for a park at that corner. We might go ahead and kill that roundabout just to get that corner. Let's do that. I don't know if that's entirely necessary. I think we put it there just because it was a weird looking intersection, but I think we're okay with that. And that'll give me just space to stick one there.
Professor Hornbuckle. Whereas I make
all right.
Apology for my
we're good. We are going to unpause. Oh, let's get a little industry plop down here as well. So we were going to have our industry. Let's do the lower loop first. I'm going to do different sizes here. We do want to maximize our space. We do need a lot of industry. But you don't necessarily need them all to be huge.
As a traveler from my homeland, I long to hear a tune that speaks to the anguish of my road-weary soul.
All right, let's get that going. All right. And I do want my initial commercial to be right along.
Leave that to those poet chaps. Here's a tune.
Let's do our initial commercial like right along in here.
Spirit, some modest desolation.
We don't need a lot of commercial to get started, in fact. You'll find that commercial does not grow in very quickly. Oh yeah, and I do have my medium density already, so I was thinking medium density can kind of just shoot right along. Like so. So we'll have some small medium densities right there. All right, we're going to unpause and see what happens. All right. So demand's starting to come in, but as it's coming in, it's immediately filling because we've already placed things. Get some more medium right through there. And we do want to lower those taxes. Like I said, we want our residential taxes to be almost non-existent. I think what people have been doing is like a 1%. To get started. Now we have a ton here. Service upkeeps. Electricity. Oh, so the other thing we want to do is lower our budgets to 50% when we get started as well. We don't need our budgets cranked when we get started. That will help us. Now we're actually getting more demand for commercial. I would have preferred those buildings there to be bigger. delete them and make them grow bigger. So I'm not playing whack-a-mole later. So because we leveled before we started plopping zone, we've kind of hit this thing in the game where you're getting a lot more medium demand than low density demand, but the low density will come. So I'm not overly stressed about it. And once we get to the next level and we start getting our apartment buildings, that'll be nice. So one of the things I thought the idea that I always have is some of those medium densities be along here. So I do have this strip here. So maybe we go with some slightly deeper ones here. And we're getting more industry demand. So you just, it's playing the demand. I'm surprised we have a lot of commercial. I need to actually take advantage of that because commercial is usually not something you see a lot of early in the game. So I'm going to take advantage of that I have that, and place some more. Let's build these small ones. Is there a break in the zone there? There might be. I'm going to try one more time. Yeah, I think there's a break in the zone right there. I think we have a 3x3 side. So what if I got rid of this? Will it build me a 3x? Yeah. That's okay. That'll give me opportunity to put some medium through here. I'm actually surprised we have as much commercial as we do. Now it's starting to go down. Okay, our residential's normalizing. Now we just need jobs. And everything I've read is like the taxes early on in the game almost make it feel counterintuitive. It's like, well, I need the tax income. But you don't necessarily. And you can see these are just sparsely grabbing. So as that meter is hitting, we're not even noticing. So we'll just see a house build in. And our residential is climbing at a rapid rate. And money-wise, it's 5,000 an hour. So do we have people working here? We do have people working up here, which is good. And it is grabbing coal. So as this is getting the coal moving, this will not have to import coal. Now, there was a information tab that I saw somewhere. I cannot remember where I saw it. Yeah, unoccupied buildings is an issue. That'll happen as people move in. High skilled labor available. We need a school, but we don't need it this second. This was it. No. So I can increase the thing on coal since I'm producing coal. There was something somewhere. Where I thought I could see how much it was costing to import coal. But we are making money exporting it. So it's costing us money, but it's not the end of the world, because once we get people moved in, we'll be fine, and we have our demand is going back up. Well, again, we want to keep industry growing. As we've learned, that to be the same size. As we've been learning in this game, those of us that have been playing it, and finding is that you do have to kind of brute force through this. You just have to make as more than you think you need to make. You have to make. And it feels like, again, I'm not adding the things I want to add. Oh, interesting. It allows me to add stops already? So I'm not seeing anybody complain about garbage or anything. So as long as they're not complaining, we're not going to put it in. That's the one thing I think we've learned, is there's no need to put that in until there's a demand for it. Because once you start putting medical in, it gets kind of ridiculous. So if we look at our stuff here, we're producing 5 megawatts, only using 2.79. And our trade, so we're making money on the trade. So we are going to get to a point, once we start seeing this flow in the other way, then we'll need to go to our budget screen and increase our budget. Because right now our budget for our services, for everything, is sitting at 50%. So same thing too, we just need to keep an eye on this. As long as we got enough water and our sewage is handling it fine, we don't need to force it. So medium density is still the zoning required or demand, and we're okay with that. So let's start maybe working this area over here. We'll get some in there. I think we'll do, I got no shop demands. I think we'll do 3 by. Got some XP, got some things going. And as we're getting people, like right now we only have 247 people living here. As we get more people, we'll get more tax income because more people will be working. These businesses will be working more efficiently. So let's speed up the game and just see what it starts asking for. It looks like there's a slight need for this. And we could connect this to the highway. Like I said, it just makes me concerned that people will use this road to get over here. Now they are coming here. A lot of people aren't necessarily going straight. Oh, see, now we got our low density demand is coming up now, and that is good. Get all that filled in. So now we're going to fill in through, oop, the wrong one. We're going to fill in these needs here just to make sure we keep up with it. Because when you have it, you want to grab it. Love it.
What kind of future does music have if it doesn't look
Tons of demand, and we are filling that demand in.
Speaks for itself. Here on Second Moon, we know you can't move forward unless you keep both eyes steadily trained on what's behind you.
Now that demand is starting. Oh, no, it's starting back up again.
Sources tell us that our city has more services than we know what to do with.
And you know what that means, folks.
And we look here, our monthly balance going down because our tax income going up.
That's right. You could almost say it's too much of a good thing.
Or we could say.
And now I'm going to pause the game because I want to keep up with this zoning, and I feel like it's going to be difficult. Now, I am noticing this.
That's right, Glenda. But apparently, that's not all good news. We're joined today by an expert guest, Professor.
I'm going to use some alleyways to create this neighborhood to be a little differently. So we want 3 deep, 1, 3 deep. So let's get a road through here. Get this on straight. And then we have 4. Perfect. That'll be 4 and 4. So let's get this to be 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. We can put this right through here. That'll just give me a little more zoning capabilities here. Hold on. I gotta change the music here. I always start on the NPR station and then it annoys me. I like having the music on, but so we got a full bar of stuff here. So let's take a look. What can we got? 3, 3, 3, 3. So we're good there. So let's go 3, 3, 3. We're gonna go 4, 4, 3, 4, 3. And we're adding, what's cool about this is we're adding a little bit of variety, so it's not the same type of housing all the way. 3, 3, 3, and 2. So we're gonna get a space in on one of those. What's that? 6, 9, 11. Maybe we'll do that. Let's see. We'll do. Maybe we'll put some like butt up against each other, but then we'll, or maybe we could just have these be 4 wide if it'll make it, or maybe we'll create some other sizes in here. But we have huge demand right now, so let's get that working. Pop all these in. And then we'll figure it out. Because I am drawing it out intentionally just to make sure we don't get these massive mansions which throw off your plan. Okay, that should satisfy those needs. I think we'll do something similar over there with the alleys just to kind of break that up a little bit. And then I think I'm going to get one of those in there. And I think we'll do the same thing over here. Let's look at our train height. Train height's fine. So we're going to meet some of this medium demand that we have. Similarly, we're going to do these 4s, and we'll go like so. Like so for now. All right, let's unpause and get that fired up again and see what happens to our meters. I'm going to watch these over here because I don't want any small ones to pop in. Okay, that killed all the meters, but that's fine. We got stuff going in. And now let's get some more industry as there's some demand. I'm going to start my upper industry now. That is not industry. Try to hit that demand a little bit. Just some different sizes. Let's get a big one in here, 6 by 6. Okay. It's not even touching the demand. It's just hanging tight. And it does feel like you're just doing way more than you want. Again, trying to get some variety in here. My medium demand residential's way up again. Like I said, once I get residential to the point where I'm kind of happy with it, happy with its growth, I can start raising their taxes. Oh, and we've got level 2. So I need to figure out what I'm doing there. So I always like to pause the game when I level and just take a look at my city. And as you can see, we've added a lot. So our electricity issues there. And now we're starting to see waiting for a hearse. So we will want to get our things in there. So we look at our budget. And let's look at our electricity, actually. And we are not making enough. We're only producing 5.4 for our consumption. So we can raise the budget on our electrical. Let's raise it to like 64%. And that satisfies it. So I'm pausing the game again. Let's look at our thing there. And now we're making plenty, way more than we need. We can maybe even lower that to 60% just to keep things where they need to be. And water and sewage, what's our water situation? We're probably going to be close on that. We're getting close, so I think we're going to up that maybe to 60% as well. And that should give us a little bit there. So we are in need of some city services. We do have death needs now, so we are going to put in that crematorium. And like I said, I was looking at some of these middle areas for my services. We can maybe put that right there. So it did cost us some money. We're not going to do any of the upgrades because we don't need them now. But what's the beauty about the expansion or the update is that some of these upgrades, like these garages, I don't need to pin to the building anymore. I can put them within the area. So if I want, I want those extra garages across the street, I can do that. I don't have to put them right there, which is nice. It just gives you a little freedom to place something in a tight area and not have to worry about, I don't have the space behind it, so I can't put that there. All right. So we've added that, so we're going to lower that budget for healthcare down because I don't think we need a full budget for that. And I think we might now put in education. Yeah, we got a few dead people all over. I don't know what we need here next. I think the road services tools will help just so that we could do things with our roads. We're not to the point of a water treatment plant because we can't afford it. And honestly, we can't afford high school now. I think we will want to get a elementary school down. Recycling center would be nice. Incineration plant would be fantastic. We can't afford that. So again, we're just going to kind of hang on to our points there. So I think we will get the road services just so we can do things with our roads, such as the turning on and off stoplights. Even though we have the traffic add-on, we can do that. All right, so let's get some more demand in here. Oh, and we do have our apartment buildings now, which is great. So that was what I was thinking about, like in here, maybe some apartment buildings. And this should help fill that medium demand quite a bit. So I'm going to just plan in a few right away. And look at those. Those all took that right away. Probably more than I needed to plan in. But that just ate up that demand. And actually it's starting to grow again. And we're starting to get to the point too with our industry that we're kind of running out of space for it. So we're going to need to... I got an idea for that though. We'll get a few more of these placed. And then I'll talk about my idea. So my other idea is we can have industry of all shapes and sizes. So I'm going to turn the game to a single speed right now. So what we could do is lower our brush size here. I want this brush strength all the way up. And we can grab this in a bit. But we can go with some industries that are smaller. So I'm thinking like 2 or 3 deep industry. Nothing too big. And then that way we can have some industry on each side of the road. So things like this. Little industries. We're still sitting at 500,000. So it's not like we're going broke here. I'm pretty happy with this. And that should satisfy my industry needs. And now we're creeping up on our low density. I'm going to meet this medium density demand head on with just a few more apartment buildings. Hopefully that gets that moving. Because, man, we got some medium density demand. All right, let's get our low density demand put in. We could just drag that across. Drag that across. And yeah, we're getting these unique ones in there. I'm perfectly fine with that. Ooh, and we unlocked Pop Musician Mansion, so that will give our some citizens some happiness. So we'll want to get him placed in there. All right, and let's do that's our first unique building. So let's get him placed. He's pretty big, so we might give him a space that he can enjoy. That's not a bad spot. Not overlapping anything. So add some well-being to the citizens around there. All right, we still have tons of medium. So let's find where else can we put some medium apartment buildings. So I'm saving some of this. I think parking was the other thing we wanted to get. Can we afford parking? Not yet. Parking will be something we'll need to get. But I do find that parking encourages... Something I've learned is when you're having trouble getting commercial density, as you can see, we haven't had commercial density since we placed all that commercial at the beginning. When you're having trouble getting it and you start to make your money, your city's starting to do well, I found that I added some parking and all of a sudden I started to get a little bit of commercial demand. So parking seems to be a fix. It's not a lot, and I think commercial really kicks into gear once you start to approach 10,000 citizens. Because if you think about it, we got 1,200 people living here. That's a lot of stores for 1,200 people. Okay, now we definitely got the death care going crazy here right now. So this having a little trouble keeping up. We might need to add that. And we're starting to get a little medical care needs. Our monthly balance is really low right now. Our taxation is pretty good. I think we can bump our industry up just a little bit, and that might discourage any more industry moving in. And I'm going to lower the commercial just a tad to maybe encourage some commercial to come in. As you can see, the industry demand went down by raising it just a little bit. And we do want to look at what does that do to our city. Are they complaining about high taxes? They are. So we just want to keep that in mind. Oh, this is great. These people are thrilled. In fact, they're thrilled so much about their taxes, I don't think it would hurt them in any way if we raised it just a little bit. Let's go to 5% and see. It's going to get us a little income, and let's see what it does. They're still happy. They're still not happy, but I don't think that's going to cause businesses to leave. We need to keep an eye on that, though. So our hearses, they're kind of doing their thing. But I think we might need to up our medical budget a bit. I'm going to try to avoid that as long as I can. We do need a medical clinic in here. It's really expensive. Its upkeep can be up to $120,000 a month. And we don't want that. We want our upkeep to be pretty low on it. So, but I think we do need one. I think we're getting to that point in our city. And we're starting to get to power situation again as well. What is happening here? This thing doesn't have power. Garbage is piling up. We're going to need to deal with garbage. Power station overloaded. Let's look at our power here. What's going on? We're not making enough, so that's what it is. So we just need to up our power budget. So I think if we raise that to 70, we're no longer overload. But now we're getting garbage. So now we got to start thinking. We got garbage coming in. We got medical things that we're going to need to think about. Let's get the rest of this put in here. I want to meet that residential demand. We're getting to the point where we might buy that extra tile soon and start building out. Once we fill all of our grid. And I like this. Our little medium density block here looks pretty nice. But we got tons of medium density demand, so we're going to need to find some other locations. Let's go with, I don't know what it's going to look like, but let's go with a big one here. Because we've been doing these 3x3s. What does a 4x3 look like? I'm going to put 2 in. And see what that does. It didn't touch our demand. And I think we could be, I mean, we still want lots of people moving in. So we don't want to like stop people from moving in. We're not there yet. But we are definitely getting to the need for education. And we are at the need for medical. We got people dying because we don't have good medical care. So I think we're going to have to start spending money to make money. But look at this. We are almost in the green at level 2, which has not been something that people have been able to achieve. But once we add those services, boom, we're going to go way down again. So we do need to keep that in mind. Our taxation looking good. We haven't gotten any more, so I'm going to raise that and just see if 10% keeps them. I don't want. We are almost there. We are almost in the green. I kind of want to keep it there for a little bit. So while we're doing that, let's figure out where else can we sneak some medium. Now can a school fit there? That would be a neat spot for a school. One of these things. It could definitely fit there. It should fit there, although the Pop Mansion Museum might mess that up, which means we might have to relocate him. Can a school, it will not fit there. Yeah, the Pop Mansion Museum's in the way of that. We might have to put our school up there. Oh. I don't like it on the main road there. But we do have some space back here. We could extend a grid out. So let's do that. There, that's good. And I'll be very deliberate here with drawing this grid. It's going uphill slightly there, so I want to flatten that out a little bit. Getting that demand back in here again too. And let's find where those line up. So we're going to do something like this. Now, I think we can get the school back here, maybe on this side. So we're in the green now. We're making a little bit. Our school is going to cost us $12,000 a month. We're making more than that, so we can afford a school right now. Although it's probably going to cost us more than that. It usually does. But that's going to make people thrilled because we have a school. And it keeps us, we're good. We are in it. And we could lower that budget on the school. We don't need that school, but we're in the red again. We don't need that education to be 100% right now because our city's not that big. So we could lower that, try to keep us steady. And we got tons of demand, so we got to get that in. Our power's an issue again. So let's look at our budget panel. And this is just the balancing act you have. And we're going to level any second now. So let's get our electricity up to 80. That satisfied that. We are going to run out of the ability for this coal plant to keep up at some point. Once we're at 150%, we're going to have to look for other ways to get that coal to do our thing. Our service upkeeps are really high. But my question is, how much is out of... How much are we importing? We have no service trade, so... There was something I saw the other day when we were doing this game where I looked at power and I could see what it was importing. Oh, it's not importing anything. Okay, never mind. That's where it was. It was right here. So I'm not importing... Well, that would be importing electricity, which we're not yet. I was looking for like where this thing was importing coal. We got tons of coal storage. And there we go. We've leveled. So that gives us even more things. Our fire, our police, which you usually can't afford right now. It does make it a little difficult. And look at all that demand. So I'm going to pause again as we got tons of demand. And our medium density is getting pretty crazy here. I'm hesitant to put in too much more of these there, and I might need to figure out another spot. I'm thinking maybe along here on this side. So let's get 3. I'm gonna put in a bunch. See if all those fill in. Okay, they do. Now I'm going to put these in. Hopefully that shrinks that down. And now we got a low density demand, so we're going to get that in. And we're going to satisfy that on this strip here. And we're not going to meet this demand fully here. So that being said, how's everyone doing? If you're playing this, are you finding some struggles with the new mechanics? Do you enjoy the new mechanics? I, for the most part, am. Ooh, it's building on that side road, which I don't want. So what I can do is I can take this info tool, this picker tool, and just plop that right there. So if you get things building the wrong way, you can just kind of fill that like that. All right, all that demand got met, so we're good. Our industry demand's okay. And we're in the green again. Not by much, but we're kind of fluctuating. And I feel like we can get a little bit more out of our residential taxes. So I'm going to take it to 7%. And we'll check the happiness factor. We got unoccupied buildings, but it's just because people haven't moved in yet. So those will get moved in. Taxes still a little high there. They're not complaining, but taxes are not a problem here. They're not complaining, so I think we are still good tax-wise. City's growing fantastically, and we're making money. We are at level 3, and we're making money. This is not... I mean, again, there's things I haven't done, but it looks like my crematorium's keeping up. Trash is a problem, so we are going to have to address that, and medical is a problem. We're going to have to address trash and medical. At level 4, you can import city services, but it's expensive. So you're better off just doing it yourself and making it work and adjusting your tax rates to accommodate. And people will be more willing to pay more tax if they have services. So let's look at garbage. I do have points to spend. I wish I knew how much these cost before spending the points. Incinerator plant costs $1 million. I'm pretty sure of that. Now, the one thing I've found is the landfill, unless you have a lot of landfill space, a lot of space to put your landfill, it fills up pretty rapidly. But I did find a slight cheat in it, is if you relocate the landfill, it empties it and redraws it. I don't think that should be intended, but it does work. But it costs you money to move it. I'd rather the recycling center, but I think if I do that, I'm not going to be able to afford medical. Because I think the recycling center is like $750. I really do. I think the recycling center is expensive. Why am I not? There we go. Anybody know offhand how much a recycling center is? I wish you could do that. I guess I could look it up. There's this thing called the internet. How much is the recycling center in Cities Skylines 2? Find it. No. I know. Oh, I just closed that. I know that for a fact the garbage, the incinerator plant is $1 million. I do recall that, and we're not at the income level for that. And we got power problems again. So let's go ahead and keep up with our power. I'm just going to take it to 100 since we're going to get there eventually. And 100's not enough. Let's pause the game a second and see where our power situation's at. Well, this thing should be making 20. Why is that not making 20 megawatts? I thought the power plant made 20. Doesn't it? It does make 20 megawatts. Why is it not making 20? Speed the game up for a second and figure out what's going on here. Yeah, our city, my budget's at 100 for power, right? Is that the one I raised? It should be producing 20. I don't know why it's not. It's only producing 10. The amount of electricity this building supplies to the power grid is dependent upon the building's efficiency. The efficiency is 52%. So buildings... Oh, garbage is lowering its efficiency by 50%. We are going to need to get garbage in here then. Gotcha. Okay, did not know that. So let's put our garbage somewhere. I don't want to build a bridge, but garbage over here makes sense. It's a huge area, and we could really work with that. So let's see what we can do about flattening an area, and then maybe we can build a bridge over here. Did I go in the water? Okay, no. Whew. Why is that brush so small? Okay. So I want to get probably right to there. It might break a building, but let's see if we can get that height. Over here. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to make this unique little thing here. You are not in the water. There we go. Okay. And we could put our garbage right there. So we are going to do the landfill because we need to be more efficient with our power. And then we can lower our power's budget tremendously when we're 100% efficient, because we weren't 100% efficient. We're going with a huge space here just to make sure we can kind of future-proof, set it and forget it for now. And that'll get some workers too. We'll get some employees there. Garbage truck should be shooting out. There they go. And we need to keep the game running. So it doesn't have enough electricity either. I'm going to bump. Oh, man. Hopefully they pick up this trash. Looks like the trash has icon. Oh, it's still there. All right, guys, go there. Oh. If they're not going to go pick it up, that's even more of a problem. Oh, no, they got to go this way. So I need to bump that budget up a bit. What are we looking at? Man, that costs us a lot. Services. I don't want to really reduce my trash budget too much because I need it picking up stuff, but I got to lower some of that. I'm going to raise my electricity budget just to get a little more electricity going. Oh, they're not complaining about trash anymore. So I can... Oh, this thing's running at 121% efficiency, so I can lower that. So what's my electricity at now? We're making 24 megawatts. Beautiful. We can lower that. And how much did we need? We only need 12, so we can almost lower that back down to 50. So services, electricity. Let's get this down. Oh, I was running it at 120% budget. That's why. Let's run it down to 80. Let's see what that does. Still plenty. Perfect. With the room to spare. All right. So that's good. And our garbage running at 80% efficiency because I set it 280 should be fine. It's probably more than we need. We're in the red again, but we got tons of demand. So let's fill our demand in, and then let's slow our game down. This is the game you play now, and it's okay. I feel like it's a little less annoying than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be like, oh, I have to brute force through this, and I can't just play the game naturally and have fun. But it actually is okay. I'm not as annoyed with it as I was a few days ago. So I'm pretty good just doing what we're doing here. And we do want to figure out how to get some more industries into play here. So I'm feeling like some farming and all that would be nice. We have a little access to farmland over there. So maybe we can get over there. Just shoot a road out here, making just a nice clean intersection. And then we can maybe take a gravel road. I'm just going to run it straight down. And maybe we can get some farming going as another industry option. So maybe we can get some wheat going, some wheat production. Okay, so that'll at least get us some farming, get us some employees, and looks like medical is now the next thing. So Taxes are getting better. Once we get back in the green again, I think we'll add that. Taxes are fine. What is this looking like? Unoccupied buildings still an issue, but they're in love with their taxes. I think we get a little more out of our residents. 9. Let's just take it to 10. And if they're not happy at 10, they're not complaining at 10. So I think 10's a nice number. Gets us a little more money, and now we're in the green again, and now we should build up enough to be able to support our medical, because I think we do want to get medical services in here. We got garbage running, doing its thing. We have to keep an eye on that storage. That's going to become a problem eventually. So hopefully we get to the point where we're making tons of money. We can get to our incinerator or recycling plant, which is good. And we have not bought an extra tile yet because we're still building within the tile we're in. We're starting to get a little low density demand increase, so I think we want to meet that need at some point. I'm going to put in a little more row housing along here. I'm going to go 5 deep here. Ooh, big mistake, Bryan. Get rid of that. Okay, and I think maybe we'll just have a little low density neighborhood in here, but maybe we won't mind these being back to back. You know what if we did 2 buys? This could be small rows or small homes. And we are kind of future-proof in there. I think that tax might have been a little aggressive. I'm going to lower that back down to 9. I think they'll be happy at 9. We're making money. They're happy at 9. So 9 makes them happy. Anything single digits makes them happy. We got unoccupied buildings. They're still moving in. That goes away once this population number increases. We're making money right now. So I think we just ride this out a bit. Got a little bit of industry demand. But what we could also do is here, we have this area here for our farming. But we're running out of the yellow. But what we could do is we could put like a animal farm. Doesn't require that yellow. There we go. Now just give us another job opportunity, plus get some animal livestock farming going. How is this doing up here? That's working wonderfully. We don't really have a lot of trees to put in a forestry, and I don't really want to put it next to a dump because I'm probably going to expand this. We're going to have to rethink where these power lines go at some point if our dump expands. Now we could do other types of, we could do rock, stone farming. That doesn't require, or mining. That doesn't require a blue area. So I could do that just to kind of create an industry area over here. Now it does have this weird little hump there. So what I'm going to do is grab my terrain tools and just widen this out a bit where it is, and then just kind of soften it down. So it's not as severe. But I'm trying to add other industry using these industry things. And this it does create a ton of employees. So that's good. Education's good. Medical. So we need to get into medical. That was our next thing. And that will probably get us close to leveling. We are making pretty good money now. So I think we can support it. We're making $12,000 a month. So let's get to medical, and we can finally get our medical clinic. And I want one of these service buildings. That's what I was planning to have this space in here for. So we could put it in one of these spots. I think this is the one. Everyone's thrilled there. That will put us in the red. Now, medical, same thing. We can upgrade with an additional depot. We could upgrade with extra wing. The wing doesn't need to go on it. So, like, if we want to have, like, a wing be over here, and that's not unusual. You go to, like, a medical park, and there might be, oh, here's the main office. Oh, whatever. Radiology's in the building across the parking lot or across the street there. You know, so you can kind of build it to be like that. So looking at this, it did put us in the red here, but if we look at our services for medical, we already have that at 50, so we can't lower that anymore. But it is causing quite a bit, so we just need to keep that in mind. But with that there, that should alleviate the minor medical complaints we got. And now we're starting to get police complaints, so we are going to need to look at getting to that. I want to level before we do that. We are very close to getting us back into green, so we're only 9,000 monthly balance in the negative. Hope you're enjoying watching today. I am showing that the economy patch is doable. You just need to slow it down. My initial thoughts were like I was upset with how it kind of managed itself, but how this is going today, I'm actually all right with it. I'm okay. My complaints, not unfounded. There definitely were some problems. But I don't think it's as bad as we thought it was. We have no demand right now in anything, but that's okay. I think we just need to let the city run a bit. We have our tax situation pretty nicely situated. We're smoothing out our terrain that we set for our roads. We have garbage. I mean, we're running services. Oh, now our monthly balance is 48. So what happened there? So who's up? Electricity's way up. But we're exporting, so it's probably just the cost of it. Healthcare doubled. So I don't know what we can do about that. So again, this could be to keep ourselves moving. We need to keep our tax situation good. We have not gotten to the point of more commercial. Unless we lower it to get more. If we put it at 8, I did see something blip there briefly. I'd hate to raise my industry taxes anymore, but that is where the money's at. And I think level 4 is when we get offices. Yeah, and that's where the money is. You can get some good income off offices. And I have some space, I think, for offices. We can kind of maybe make something built around here. I'm going to raise the taxes on industry a little more. Get us a little bit more money for our city. Keep us steady here. They're going to complain, but I don't think they're going to leave town. And I'm going to bring commercial back up to 10%. And commercial gives you nothing. There is a problem with commercial. It's not giving you any feedback. So we don't know what's going on there. Unoccupied buildings, people just need to move in. And they are. We're moving it at a high rate. So we're going to speed this game up and see what we can get going here. Taxes are... And as these people move in, it's going to help with the taxes. We have no demand in anything right now. I just want to make sure we don't lose industry. So we do want to watch that. So if we look at company profitability, we can see if they're green, they're good. But if they're red or if they're gray, that could create an issue. So we just want to keep that in mind. They're not all red, but we got some orange. That could be that we're kind of squeezing them a little bit with I see these we're getting some demand there. It's filling it in though as they build. Let's meet that need. Pop one there. Pop those there. Should get us that demand met. Oh, we got these two tiny ones. I don't want these tiny ones, so we have the demand there, so now's the time to delete them. Now I can get that one in. And notice we're starting to get some industry demand again, so even though we upped their taxes, oh, we got a fire, and we don't have fire services yet. We're really trying to hang on to get to offices. Offices will help us tremendously. I'm gonna keep doing these 2x here, 2x3s. To meet this low density demand. Push this back ever so slightly. We're kind of at the edge of where we want to go. And I think this could let us shoot out here. And then maybe we can kind of build another area back here. So let's not be afraid of terrain, adjusting our terrain too much. Let's not be afraid of it. Because we knew this map was going to be a challenge terrain-wise with how hilly it is. I think we could certainly build neighborhoods up there. But let's just keep to our grid right now and not get too complicated. Okay, we're kind of going a little bit like there. Let's get... Perfect. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to build these little blocks. 2, 4, 6. I can't count. 2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. And this gives me plenty for... Oh, we leveled. Thank you. Good. That gave us some money, and that's going to get us offices. So I want to get those in quickly. Let me just meet this demand. I'm going to go pretty nutty here. I mean, we got some high density demand too. That's going to be nice and helpful. So let's keep that like that. And I'm going to put... I'm going to keep this like this. Gets that in there. I want to get a little high density. So this is where I'm thinking like down here where we have these, or I mean over here where we have these things, is maybe we could stick like a high density on these edges here. Small ones. We're not making huge ones, but we can definitely meet that need with some small high density buildings to fill in this block. Commercial's not moving yet. Now we do have office, so I think we want to get in a little office park. So I'm thinking right here. That broke. I don't want that to break. Let's go with this. I'm gonna turn off that snapping because I want this to be... That is ugly. Oh, that is breaking because it's hitting that other thing. So let's go one in here. There we go. Nice. let's get this. So this is, we're going to stick a little office area right in here. Let's run single here. We're running really fast. Let's get something. Like so. And we've met the demand, but I'm just going to plop these in for now. And now we'll have a little office park there. I think we do want to get some parking because that will actually help us make some money. So let's get some parking lots. And this is where we could really shine is get this one here, a medium parking lot right there. It makes people happy, but we raise that fee. We want them to do that. And we also get city policies now, and we want to make taxis be a fee. And districts, we can set district policies, which is going to be huge. So let's draw a district. And I'm going to keep my district separate from residential and commercial. So we're going to draw a district like this will be. Okay, so what I can do here is... Oh, I don't get those yet. Okay, I don't get district policies yet, but I can set that up. So I have my district. Hello, Silent Thunder. How are you? All right, lots of demand for people to move in. Money situation. We are in the loss here. We're definitely suffering a little bit. Healthcare is what's biting us right now, but we needed it. We have our healthcare sitting at 50%, so it can really come to bite us later. But everything else doing all right. We're almost ready to get over this hump here, and we just need to get more people moved in. So let's get that going. So I'm going to put in more low. And then I want some medium and high opportunities. So we're going to go back here. Come on this back here. We're going to do some medium. Let's just place a bunch to get that demand met. It's starting to go down. We'll get one more in there. And then some highs. Don't want them on that main road. Let's do this. What I'm doing is this, you'll see what I'm doing here. This unique little area here where I can have some high density. Not be on this main road, be in its own like little park. I'm going to give them parking. Makes people thrilled there. Raise that parking fee. Oh man, time is flying. It's 12:30. That's gonna get a lot of people moved in. So we've met that demand head on, and we got lots of things that we could put in, but it really is going to mess with our situation. I would love to get back into the green before we end the stream here, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't want to really up my taxes too much. We're going to go ahead and up the office ones because office just makes money. Commercial is not kicked in yet, so we're going to lower the commercial to see if we can get that commercial demand in there. We're not making a lot on commercial taxes right now, so that's fine. And I'm going to scale back industry just one. It's tough, it's tight, and we got services we need. I mean, we got crime all over our city, and they're going to be needing that. We have no fire coverage, so... This might be our stopping point anyway. We usually stop at around 12:30, so we're kind of getting up to that point. Let's run the game a bit and just see what happens. Nothing to add right now, so... People are moving in, but we don't have a lot of... We did build a bunch of homes. And we can encourage more residential movement if we lower their taxes just a little bit. I think, what are we at? We're at 9%. And 9 does keep us happy. 9, we're good. Availability of jobs. That does become a problem once you get those high densities. So, and taxes, their complaint taxes are high. So let's look at profitability. Because the other thing we could do, lower all the taxes to a normal rate. I don't want these companies moving out. And look, we do have a lot that are now empty. So I think we squeezed our industry too much. And I think that's why we're losing it. So let's go ahead and get this back down to a normal level. We're going to lose money initially to make money. At 10, nobody complains. Nobody's in love with you, but nobody complains at 10. And let's see what that does for us. Definitely hurting us right now on that side of things. What's our electricity looking like? Electricity is looking very good. And I think we got companies moving back in. So let's keep an eye on company profitability. Yep, some of those are already filling back in and they're going green. They're coming back in. So that's making them happy. They will have jobs. People will be able to work. So, and now it's increasing our demand. So that's all we needed to do. Just, we need to give them... It does sound counterintuitive at times. And I don't think it's that big of a deal. A little more office in there. So like I said, we got this little office park with a parking lot. And look at all of our demand just went through the roof because we have things. We have jobs. We get the taxes are low. Everyone's excited. We can fill all that in. Get that met. And our high density is filling in so we can get a few more in there. Squeeze a little medium density in somewhere up here. So we were going with these kind of apartment buildings along the back. That'll meet that. And now we got industry demand again. And I think it's time to get another mid-level road through here. So let's check our heights. Let's lower that brush size. Let's get something right in here. And seriously, I think it really, you just have to be patient. I was pretty impatient when I started the other day, and I was trying to build the city the way I thought I should build it. And you really just got to build it based on what are your citizens asking for, and can they live without it as long as possible. And that's kind of what you have to do. And if you can get that process down and that level of patience down, you can really do some good things. So we want to keep the taxes where they're not Look at that. We're making money now. And all I did was lower taxes, and now we're making money. I have all the taxes at 10. Everybody's content. I'm adding a ton of industry right now. So we're losing again. I don't know what happened there. But we'll take a look. Is it close? We're not losing too much. Man, that industry demand's rocking. We just filled that whole thing in, and this demand bar didn't go. I don't want to raise it because I don't want them to go out of business again. Because I think if once all these fill in, they'll be paying their taxes and they'll be good. And we have to keep an eye on our power. How's our garbage looking here? Well, garbage is doing great. It's not even full. Okay. And we're not even to 5,000 people yet. I'd love to get in the green before I start adding more services. But we are going to need police real soon. And we're going to need to expand our medical real soon. Let's lower this down again. We're good. I think we're going to end here. Because it is 12:30, which was my ending time. Oops. I don't have anything there. We got a little high density area that we built over here. Parking's doing great. You know, honestly, we can make more. We could spend money to make money with parking, and that's always been my thought process there. And we are almost there. Let's get to the green and then call it. I mean, I could probably boost industry just a hair now. We got tons of industry here. Let's boost industry up a little bit. With the hope that it doesn't make them not profitable. Look at our profitability because we're in the green now by doing that. Work availability. Jobs. We're at 25% unemployment, but that is a normal thing in the beginning of the game. Not seeing too much of a problem here. A little bit of red, but those are the newer companies and they just need to get rolling. Let's speed this up and just see if this starts turning red. They are turning red. We don't want that. Although it went to orange. Now we're getting power problems. So it is a juggling act here. So let's check our power budget. Man, we're making good money. I'd hate to lose some of that. So let's just up our power to 90%. And hopefully that'll hold us. Because we are going to get to the point where we need a new source of power or an additional source of power. Otherwise, we're going to start importing and then we're going to lose money again. And we haven't even bought our extra tile yet. We're still sitting on this initial tile. And look at this. We're getting commercial now. We have not had commercial since the beginning of the game, and we're starting to get some commercial demand. And that is an exciting time, because now we can start plugging in what we've wanted to do, is just get a little bit of that commercial in. We got place for some more office. We do want to take advantage of office. We don't not want to have office. So let's get some... Let's sneak some offices in here. Just to meet that demand. It's a big industry. It seems like a huge industry area for this. It's largely because these buildings don't house a lot of employees. And that's really where you run into that struggle, is you just don't have enough employees per building, and these buildings need to house more employees. Once you get to like the large scale offices, the high density offices, high density commercial, you start to be able to meet that need. Well, you know what? We are in the green pretty comfortably. Our taxes are pretty level here. And we're going to need next services. So I think we're going to stop here. And next week, so I'm going to put the game at single speed and just let it run for a minute. But I think next week we will go ahead and work on growing the city. We've got to level 4. And we are in the green. We are making money. So this is definitely doable. Whereas I thought Wednesday, this is impossible. I was even complaining Friday night while Dave and I were streaming that this game annoying me and isn't possible. I don't feel like I'm not growing the city naturally. I do have a problem with some medical. I do have a problem. No police, no fire yet. We do need to add that. But we're starting to make a little money where we can get there. We have the people coming in. We're getting close to where we're going to want to expand. Remember, we did turn off the tile upkeep. It's just not worth the aggravation that it's going to cause for you to want to naturally grow your city. But we haven't even used all of our space yet. We got tons of space still to develop. We got buildings leveling. Police is an issue. So that's something we're going to add next week. So next week, we'll look to add it. But we're at $50,000 a month monthly balance of coming in. Perfect. We're going to get to the point where we're going to need to build either another coal plant, or we're going to have to expand our power situation, because we are going to run out of capacity to handle it. We're going to keep upping that percentage use of power until we can't get it anymore. That'll get us up to 30 megawatts. But once we hit 30, we're going to have to probably build another coal plant or try to find alternative source power. Hopefully by then we're sitting pretty with money. Right now our money's it's growing. We're just going to kind of need to ride it out, play with those demand meters. Might need to up the taxes. I mean, hey, if we got too many people wanting to move in and we're not ready for that growth, we raise the taxes, make a little money. Hopefully they don't move out. So it's a balancing act. Like, we could look at our taxation right now. We're sitting at 10% and they still want to move in. Like, everybody wants to move in. They're all happy. Green across the board. Here, little complaint of taxes for industry. But we can offset that by getting some more things coming in. It's looking pretty good. City policies, we don't want to import city services. That is really expensive. You don't want to do that. It's there. If this is going to be there, it needs to not be so expensive. If this is going to be a way for you to say, hey, you don't want to put police and fire in your city, fine, you can import that. But what it doesn't allow you to do is import specific things. You import everything, and it's like $500,000 a month. Boom, right off the bat. You can't survive on it. That is not a practical thing. And then I would find that as your city grows, you would never need it. It is a useless policy to add. It offers no benefit from what I have found. So they need to rethink that needs to. It's supposed to scale based on your population, but it starts off too high. Like, you need to set it as like maybe $1 per citizen for each service, and only the services you want. It doesn't say like, oh, you have medical in your city, so we're not going to import medical. No, it imports medical. It imports trash. It imports it all, whether you are providing that service or not. It's not a useful policy. I wouldn't implement it, but it comes available to you at level 4. So, all right. So next time we are going to go ahead and put in, we're going to expand our medical, put in fire and police, and try to continue to grow the city. But I think we're looking pretty good. I will be back on Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. We usually run 9 to 12 on Wednesdays. So I'll be back then for more Cities Skylines 2, unless I do something else. I have something else in mind that I want to try playing, and I might take a break from this for that. And maybe I'll continue this city next Sunday with Dave, him building a city along with me, and maybe this will be my city to build along with it. Whereas I've experienced this and now I've seen what I've been able to do. Now, again, is there other ways to do this? Probably. Could you import your power and not run power? Maybe. Might cost you a little more money to do that, but that could be something maybe we consider doing instead of expanding our power. Maybe we just start importing power for a little bit if we're making the money. Okay, because we're sitting pretty right around 50,000. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for the conversation today. If you like what you saw below, hit follow. That really does help us out. And we will be back Wednesday, 9 a.m. for more gaming streaming here at PodCasturbia. I'm Bryan. Thank you for joining me today. We'll see you next time.